歡迎大家嚟到今集嘅屬靈茶局。咁今次呢，就係由我呢個特別主持就嚟主持呢一集，因為今次我哋就有一個好特別嘅嘉賓喎。咁之後呢，我就要轉講英文啦，因為佢唔係中國人嚟噶。So I'm going to introduce today's special guest, and she is a cat lover. She loves cats so much. And this is Ruthie here. Hi, Ruthie.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, thank you.
It's nice to see you here.
Thanks for having me.
So today we're here in the program and we have something special for you. We have this alloy here that when you are thirsty, you can take a sip of it.
Oh, thank you so much. It's so delicious.
So before we just have some background of you, so where you come from?
I come from Brooklyn. I was born here all my life.
Oh, so and any about your parents or anything?
Well, my parents had a restaurant for 40 years, from 1930 to 1970, Norwegian American, mostly for working men. And the whole family was involved working there.
Ah, I see. So do you believe in God? Like, when did you believe in Jesus?
Well, I was brought up believing in Jesus. My mother took me to her church, a Finnish American church on 8th Avenue. And then I went to Lutheran church also. So I went to church a few times a week, and I loved it.
Oh, wow. So you were brought up in a church since you were a kid?
Yes.
Till now. So that is a very long time.
That's 75, 76 years. No, well, I'm 76 years old now, so I'd say 71 years.
Oh, wow. That's more than 70 years. That is a very long time as a Christian. So through all these years, are you always that close to God? Or is there a time that you turn away from Him?
I was close to God. I was always close to the Lord until I was about 13. I had a lot of kids picking on me because they always pick on the good kids. And I was quiet and shy and all that, and pretty smart. And they would always pick on me, but there came a turning point when I discovered I was pretty strong. And the girl that always beat me up, or tried to, I almost killed her.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, fun fighting, and I realized I am strong. So I got back at everybody that bothered me and pushed me around and punched me around. I got them one by one, beat the hell out of them.
Oh, wow. Then what happened after that?
After that, I started changing my ways. I see that was the turning point. And I got involved with this motorcycle group, well, which were pretty nice. All they did was smoke. There was no drugs, no fighting, just hundreds of us on the highway on the motorcycles every night. It was wonderful. I loved it. I had a very nice driver. He only wanted me on his bike. And then I met my idiot husband. And I stupidly got married because I got pregnant, and I stayed with him. Out of 16 years of marriage, I think I lived with him maybe 4 years, maybe 3.5. I always was going home to my mother or my father and my children. And I couldn't get a mailing address, so I couldn't get a divorce.
So your life just keep like that, and then is there anything happen, and what makes you actually turn back to God?
Oh, well, I got married. I told you I got married. I was married 16 years. I was with a man for 5 years. I went to a lawyer with him, to his lawyer, and I couldn't get a divorce because I didn't have a mailing address. And then the third guy came along, and I had another child, and I couldn't get a divorce again. Well, finally, I got the divorce, and he had to get his divorce. But he was in the rackets, and he couldn't get out of it. He owed too much money, so he also got saved. He came with me to church. Oh, a woman kept coming to the restaurant where I worked, and she was a lay minister, Carol Brinkslet. She was leaving me tracts, and she said to me, "The most wonderful thing in your life would happen to you if you could give your life to the Lord. Come down the aisle and give, like Billy Graham services, So I said, no, I'll never do that. So she said, come on, I'll take you and the kids to church Friday night. And she picked us up and took us, and it was wonderful. By that time, I was drinking pretty heavy, and I was really out of favor with the Lord, if anything. I mean, I didn't even look to the Lord for anything. I was doing everything on my own, and everything was getting worse and worse. So he caught me at my worst. And I went to church with them, like I said, and I loved it. My kids did. And then Sunday, I went again after work. And I had about 10 people with me, my sister, my family. And when the pastor called altar call, I flew out of my seat. I couldn't sit if I tried. I ran down the aisle and I accepted Christ. And I felt like a champagne high, bubbly, all through me. I said, I feel like I'm on a champagne high. So my friend said, that's the Holy Spirit. And I was. And I have never changed. I never felt the same since. Everything that I clung to, that I thought would make me happy in this world, drinking, smoking, living with the man I did love, all these things went because I put Jesus first in my life. Not perfect, far from perfect, but I put him first in my life. And most of my children are saved. My son Michael sang with the Brooklyn Tabernacle Choir for 7 years. And my son Robert, I know he believes. Rhonda, my daughter in Florida, she loves the Lord. And Donnie, my son Donnie, got baptized. I hope he's with the Lord. I think so. And that's what I strive, to be an example to my family. My sister too. She's saved, but
Okay, so other than you were brought up as a Christian, but that was actually the turning point where you personally accept God as your Savior. And then what is the change afterwards?
to change afterwards, like I said before, was the cursing went away and drinking, smoking. Oh, I lived with a man for 7 years. I lived with him. He was trying to get a divorce and I couldn't get mine. So I had to leave him also, stop living with him, because I put Jesus first in my life. And I never lived to regret it.
Oh, okay.
Never.
So after that, you're no more smoking, no more cursing. It's
No.
like you were a new man evermore.
Yes.
So,
New.
yeah. So after that, what actually makes your faith stronger and stronger?
Well, being with Christian people, number one, the Bible. I always read the Bible every day and get into the Christian programs on television and Christian music. Anything I can to be closer to the Lord. Can I say the time I met you guys?
Yes, I was about to ask you that. It was an amazing experience. That how'd you meet us, right?
Yes, it sure was. Well, I had 10 good friends. I got saved. They died within the last 10 years, 10 friends. I was very lonely because my family don't live around me anymore. I'm used to having a house full of people. I don't have anybody anymore. So I sat downstairs one day in the morning and I was crying to the Lord. I'm very lonely, Lord. Please send me somebody, a friend. And I was just talking to the Lord outside because I go down to 5 and feed the cats, and I'm sitting there with Blackie. I'm petting Blackie and talking to the Lord. And about a week later, I was looking for an acupuncturist. The shoemaker downstairs told me to go on the next block. There's an acupuncturist, but he didn't know. It was a chiropractor called Compassionate.
Ah.
When I was sitting there, I didn't want to go to a chiropractor, but the Lord pushed me right into the office. You don't make mistakes. And I was talking to Ruthie, the manager, and she said they don't take insurance. And I looked at the sign by the counter. It said, Blessed something. I said, whoa, this is a Christian place? She said, yes. Okay, Lord. And then Ruthie introduced me to Amy, one of the clients, and we talked, had a nice long talk. And she was a beautiful person. And then Ruthie said, can I call you in a couple of days? I said, sure. And she did. She asked me if I can come in Monday at 2:30, whatever. I said, sure. And they took x-rays, which cost a lot of money that I couldn't afford because I feed cats, which cost me a fortune every month. My check is gone. So anyway, I don't care. I love the cats. I came back. I talked to the doctor. He said, I hear you have financial problems. He said, we're waiving all the fees. I was shocked. I never met such people in my life. Ruthie and me, the same name, almost the same month of birth. We got along so great. Amy, Sina, they're there all the time. And I just loved them. And I met Christina and all the rest and all the guys of their church. And they're just so wonderful. I'm so full of joy. They're so good to me. Every little teeny thing means a lot to me. It doesn't have to be anything big. Just little teeny things they do and say. I'm so happy. And I'm happy they're here today. We had a nice macaroni and meatball party. And they seem to enjoy, and that makes me very happy.
Yes, we enjoyed it.
And they helped me so much too.
Yeah, so for me, it's also such a nice experience that we can actually meet you. You're an angel to us also, you know? And I'm so glad that even we're with different backgrounds and we're of different age, but you know, in God, we are just one family. There's no barrier in between us. And even though we only met a few times, but we're so close that it seems like we met for a long time, right?
Yes.
And just some question. You have any favorite Bible verse you want to share with us?
Well, one of my favorites is John 3:16. God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth on him will be saved, shall be saved. And one of the reasons I love that verse is because I had a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses come in the restaurant where I worked for 20 years. And they'd always try to, turn your faith. But I would give them that one. Whosoever, not a number, but a word. Whosoever believeth in him will be saved. And they give them something to think about because they can't argue with me no more. They would argue and argue and argue. So the Lord gave me that one. And that's one of my favorite.
Okay, so last question. As a senior in your belief and the faith, is there any advice or things you can teach us how we can keep follow God as like you for 70 years?
Well, what I did, I just joined a good church, Bible-believing church, got into meetings, groups, went to a lot of conventions. I had lay ministry groups in my house. Every week, once a month, we had 12-hour Bible and speaking, talking, camaraderie. It was wonderful. And the more I could get into anything that has to do with Jesus, the happier I was. And he just permeated everything in my mind and my heart. And to meet these wonderful, beautiful people, that's the epitome, I think, of my Christian walk. And I've come this far, and with these lovely people that to me are angels. To me are all angels. They're just so wonderful.
That's such a good advice for all us. We need fellowship with all our brother and sister in order to support each other to walk on this path, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Lastly, I do have a Bible verse for you that I want to share with you, which is from Proverbs chapter 4:18. Okay, it says, the path of the just is like the shining sun. It shines ever brighter until the perfect days. And this is a Bible verse that I want to give you. Even though you believe in God for such a long time, but your path will shine brighter and brighter until the perfect day.
That's so beautiful. Thank you.
Oh, welcome. And we're so glad that we have you here today in our program and share your testimony with us.
Thank you.
Yes, it's nice to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so this is the end of today's show. So bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
咁啊，今日嘅訪問就好難得可以訪問到一個即係已經信咗主70年嘅人啦。 咁喺同佢嘅訪問之中，我都見到即係喺佢嘅信仰路上，佢亦都有即係遇上佢嘅低谷佢嘅迷惘嘅時候。咁其實喺我哋每個人嘅信仰路上，神都從來冇應許過天色常藍，我哋仍然會遇到即係磨難試煉咁樣。但係確實神即係佢從來都冇離開過我哋㗎。咁喺佢即係認定咗，即係喺佢人生嘅轉折點嘅時候，佢真係所有事都能夠將神放喺首位，以致佢能夠真係為主走到如今。咁我希望真係透過佢呢個訪問啦，咁亦都可以勉勵到大家，即係喺呢條信仰嘅路上，你點樣可以用你嘅信心，即係繼續喺呢條路上走落去而不致跌倒呢？咁盼望有一日我哋每一個都能夠為主可以去走到最後，喺基督台前面得着一切嘅獎賞嘅。